Welcome back to the Miami Marlins here on OOTP 25. We are about to embark upon the 2026 campaign here, but before we did that, I'm over here looking at waivers, just taking a look at who's out there, and I just happened to see an interesting name pop up here in the all batters list of the waivers. I think I had this on all players. There's a couple decent, interesting arms out there, like Elvis Peguero, who we could possibly claim. That could be an interesting one for us. We would have to figure out who to send down to make room for him, but he could be an interesting arm to claim here. We might do it, honestly, because, we could always use an arm. He looks like he's pretty damn good. There's also somebody like Spencer Torkelson is why I decided to start the recording right now. So Torkelson, for whatever reason, the Tigers are just giving up on. They have him listed as a left fielder. He's not a left fielder, obviously. For us, he would be a first baseman if we claim him, even though he's not a good first baseman. I don't know why they are waiving him, but he's usually, for me, if a guy is below 25 years old and he gets waived, I'm like, okay. It's clearly like the AI mismanagement in this game. I'm not going to take advantage of that bullshit, but Torque is almost 27 years old, so we could use some pop. Torque has some pop. He's even got some potential still to get the 60 gap power and 65 power. I mean, I don't know why they're waiving him, but he spent a ton of time in AAA last year for whatever reason, raked, and then they called him up, and he was good in the majors too. He had a 999 OPS. 9 home runs, 6 doubles, 408 WOBA, 168 WRC plus. You look at his history here. For whatever reason, he, I guess, just started the year or maybe ended the year in the minors. I don't really know what they did with him. I don't know if he started in Detroit and then went down to the minors, or he started in the minors and then came back up to Detroit, but they just soured on him for whatever reason. They gave him a 1-year extension through arbitration. He had an injury in spring, I guess. They added him to the 40-man. I guess they DFA'd him at some point last year, too. They took him off the 40-man, or they added him to the 40-man, and then they just immediately DFA'd him after spring training. And now I'm sitting here going, Spencer Torkelson could be our first baseman. He has no options. Like I said, if a guy is a 25 and under, usually I'm going hey, I'm not trying to take advantage of the AI mismanagement here, but he's almost 27. So I think we're going to do this. I think we are going to claim Spencer Torkelson. Now, maybe this is all useless and we claim him here and then somebody else with a better claim comes in and gets him anyways. So maybe that's all useless. But then just taking a look at the pitching staff very quickly, who could we possibly send down or drop off the roster for Peguero? Also, why is Bender listed as a closer? I mean, when it comes to guys with options, it would be somebody like Thunderberg, maybe, because Manuel Rodriguez doesn't have any options. We want to see what he does for us. Balazovic has no options. They're not going to get sent down. I don't want to send down Christian Scott. And basically, I'm choosing between one of the lefties now at some point because, I guess we could send down Bender, but do I really want to? Not really. So I guess we're choosing between one of the lefties. And Nardi's 100%, and Funderburk's got 95%. Nardi has no options. Funderburk has 2 options. Nardi has none of his options used. He still has all 3 of them, while Funderburk has 2. So it's basically, do we want to burn one of Funderburk's 2 remaining, or do we want to burn one of Nardi's 3 remaining? And I think we're just going to do Nardi and just see how things go. I'm sure there's going to be an injury at any point, but we're obviously not going to waive him right now. But all pitchers here. There's also a couple other, like AJ Minter, who's making $11 million. Brian Hudson is also on here as a lefty. We could go for him instead of Peguero. I don't really know what the Brewers are doing where they're waiving him and Peguero. What the hell do the Brewers have going in their bullpen to where they're we don't need any of these guys? I guess they'd rather have Jimmy Garcia and Tanner Banks. Sure, I guess. They've got Casey Mize in the bullpen. They've got Will Vest, who they traded for this offseason, apparently. Did they get Mize in a trade, too? They did. And is that a separate trade? That's December 2nd. Yeah, so they traded for 2 different Tigers trades, like in the span of a couple days. They still have Devin Williams. Or no, they brought back Devin Williams, what am I saying? So they re-signed Devin Williams this offseason on a 2-year deal. Now he's back in Milwaukee. They've also got Kevin Gausman, Luke Weavers in the rotation. They've got Zach Wheeler, Pete Fairbanks. They got Jason Foley, who they brought over in one of these. I mean, they just gutted the Tigers bullpen here. That's crazy. And the Tigers bullpen is now looking awful. They got Fujinami out here playing for them. Guy can't find a strike zone whatsoever. I mean, this is just disgusting. They got Ryan Helsey now, but I mean, my goodness. They got Brisky in the rotation now. Sawyer Gibson-Long is up. And then if you're wondering what they're doing instead of Torque in the lineup, Colt Keith apparently is just an absolute god now. He had put up a 4-WAR season for them. He's their first baseman, and then they signed Jonathan India to play, or they traded for Jonathan India just a couple weeks ago to play second base for them, coming off a disappointing season with the Kansas City Royals. So, who knows what that's about. Javi Baez is still playing shortstop for them, apparently, because AI. And then they've also got Mike Tauchman in their lineup, apparently, as well, who they traded from the White Sox last year, who was having a good year with the White Sox, and then he's been bad with Detroit. And, so they're basically, in first base, they're playing Keith, and then at DH, they're playing Montero. I'd rather have Torque DHing instead of Montero, but, I mean, the AI is going to AI, and then obviously they're not going to play Torque in left field over Riley Green. So that's how they get in this situation where Spencer Torkelson's on waivers. Honestly, I'm kind of tempted to claim both Brian Hudson and Peguero. I mean, those are 2 really good bullpen pieces. And, like, we could just send down Funderburk for Hudson if we get both of them, and then we could just figure out what we want to do. I guess either Manuel Rodriguez or Balazovic, or one of the... or Bender or Scott if we wanted to go with somebody who has options. We could figure it out. None of these guys are disposable, but I think we're going to claim both of these arms. We're going to claim Brian Hudson, and we're going to claim Elvis Peguero, and just see what happens. Do we get all of these guys? Do we get all... Okay, where is it not sorting? Here we go. Do we get all 3 of these guys, or do we get none of them? We shall find out. And already, all that rambling about Spencer Torkelson is just completely useless because he's already been claimed by somebody who has a higher waiver claim than us, which would be the Chicago White Sox. They've also claimed Jared Kelenic, who's on waivers. But we do end up getting both Elvis Peguero and Brian Hudson. So now we have to make some room in our bullpen. So that's going to be Cody Funderburk going down to AAA. And then, just because I just want to see what Balazovic and Rodriguez do for us this season, we're just going to go with Bender simply because he has all 3 options still. So we're going to send him to AAA instead. Folks, I just got to do a little check-in here. We are getting off to a roaring start here. The Marlins are soaring out of the gates here in 2026. You can see here Derek Hill in those last 9 games. He's 13 for 31 with a .419 average, 3 home runs and 9 ribbies. He's hitting damn well. The whole lineup you can see here is hitting damn well. And we're 10-2 out of the gates here. Take a look at these games here. We beat the Mets in a series in New York, in Flushing, then we sweep the D-backs. We had a couple great pitching performances. We had a 1-0 win here where Michael King just shoved for 6 innings, and then Perez came in out of the bullpen, then Christian Scott came in at the end. After that, we had this 7-0 game against San Diego where Sean Manaea, complete game shutout. What else do you want? 3 hits, 1 walk, 6 Ks? We'll take it. Win that series 2-1, and then you go out to the nation's capital and you sweep the Nationals, and now you're heading out at Milwaukee. Let's just see what happens here. You'll get the day by day. Boom, look at that. Even we're doing this without Brian Hudson, by the way, because he pitched on opening day and immediately had shoulder tendonitis. He was out for a couple weeks, so we put him on the IL. We'll throw him down for a rehab assignment for a couple games, just, get him back in the speed of things. And then we'll hop back in here with the team page. We win that first game in Milwaukee 5-4. And it was Ryan Weathers. Gave up 3 runs, but the bullpen was shut down. Peguero, Perez, Christian Scott gets the save, his second of the season. Already 4 holds for Perez, 2 for Peguero. Kevin Gausman got lit up. When it comes to the bats, you got Mauricio doubling. Derek Hill hitting his 4th home run of the season. How about Joe Mack hitting his 3rd? Huh? How about it? And then we take on this next game against Milwaukee. On the 18th, the Saturday game, we lose that one 8-2, unfortunately. Max Meyer, he has definitely been the worst of our starting pitchers, I should say, but, Balazovic came in, got roughed up a bit as well. Rodriguez was good in 2 innings, and we lose 8-2. Can we save the series, though? We can indeed. A 4-0 victory. That's another series win for the Fish, baby. As Kyle Tucker doubles, Griffin Conine homers, his 3rd of the season. We got Michael King going 6 strong, 0 runs, 4 hits, 4 walks, 5 Ks. The 4 walks is a bit not great, but, keeps them off the board. Casey Mize got the start for them, and I guess he's back in the rotation now, as he had a good game, but we get the victory 4-0 over them, and the Marlins are now 12-3. You know what? I'm just curious what happens to this 4-game set. Maybe mop the Dodgers, perhaps? Not happening. And then also, Wilfredo Lara out here in AAA, continuing his MVP season in the Southern League in AA last year. He's in AAA, and he gets off with the Player of the Month here, or Player of the Week here in Jacksonville. He's hot start. 1.3 WAR, 67 plate appearances, a 204 WRC plus, and a 516 WOBA for Lara down in Jacksonville with the Jumbo Shrimp. Another little check-in here, as you can see. Things are not as good as they were going, but also the AL or the NL East here is just a ridiculous division at the moment. If we take a look at the expanded standings here, all 4 of these teams, Mets, Phillies, Marlins, Braves, the Mets have a 0-run differential, but the rest of these guys have plus run differentials. The Mets are still a very solid team, obviously. And, the Braves in 4th place are 1 game back. The Phillies and Marlins, us, are half game back of the Mets. Crazy tight division. We're just beating up on each other, essentially, while the Nationals are just kind of like here, doing their thing. Really, both East divisions are kind of crazy. The Yankees are 29-30 in last place, only 5.5 games back, and they're 2-8 in their last 10. So this is like a new thing for them. It's also currently the first-year player draft combine, so I've already gone ahead and added all the guys that we want to be scouting. Just, I'm not going to go through all these guys. Obviously, not all these guys are going to be people we're drafting, but if you're curious about who we add to the combine, you can look at the list as I'm scrolling through. You can pause the video, or whatever. Those are the guys that we picked. I picked 40 of them. And then some unfortunate news is that Tucker Biven with the Beloit Sky Carp down in the Midwest League in High A, unfortunately has damaged his elbow ligaments and will be missing the rest of the season. He was pitching decently well there. He pitched well for us in A-ball last year. We put him up in High A with the idea of moving him to Double A after, mid-season. And fortunately, we're not going to be able to do that because my luck with pitching prospects is just the worst. I should also mention that Thomas White was on pace to be on the big league team this year at some point, but he has a sore shoulder, which is going to be 5 weeks long. He might have even had a setback. Did he? No. He just has a 5-week-long sore shoulder. He had an oblique strain last year. So Thomas White already starting to head down the path of being a guy who's hurt all the time. I should also mention that we've actually had Drew Gilbert playing right field for us for quite a bit now, and Jacob Marcy has been up just being an awful backup with a 38 WRC+. That is because Kyle Tucker, unfortunately, did go down with a back strain. And he is currently in AAA on a rehab assignment. He's played 2 games, he's got 9 plate appearances, and he is just lighting the world on fire down there. Honestly, 2 games, you're doing that, you're back in the swing of the things. We're going to call you back up. So Marcy going back down to AAA, and Kyle Tucker is now going to be back up in the big leagues. Another little check-in that we're doing here is on Starlin Caba. You can see here, he dominated A-ball last year with Jupiter. He won the MVP of that league, the Florida State League. Where is that? Yes, Florida State League, Great Glove, Platinum Stick, and MVP, all in 2025 with his great season. Named 78th prospect in baseball. He's currently the 70th prospect in baseball. Yeah, 70th prospect in baseball. You can see here, we had him in Double-A, and he was doing damn fine. You can see here his expectations actually to play in the major leagues here at 20 years old. So I was like, hey, he's doing really well at Double-A. Let's get him up at Triple-A, see how he does there. And then, if he starts tearing things up in Triple-A, we might look to call him up, because at the moment, Max Acosta, our shortstop, is not really hitting his weight, at 80 WRC plus. Now, I should say he is actually fielding decently well for us this season. Not Starlin Caba level glove, obviously, but it's a positive ZR. So he's at least fielding well for us this season and not being a total 0. And I should also show that Starlin Caba had an 11.7 ZR in 57 games down in Double-A Pensacola. Now up in Jacksonville, we'll see what he can do there for the Triple-A club. The top 100 prospects have been updated here in baseball. We're taking a look at the batters here. We've actually got 3 guys on this list. Starlin Caba is now ranked the 59th prospect. Dylan Head is actually ranked the 57th prospect. And Brendan Summerhill, last year's first-round pick, 7th overall to the University of Arizona, is the 90th prospect in baseball when it comes to batters. Currently in A-ball, once again, not really doing so hot. He's very unhappy with his performance, which, we are as well. Fortunately, he not even playing a good center field, so not really sure what's going on there. Hopefully he can break out of this slump. Maybe I call him up to Double-A at some point, or High A at the very least in the Midwest League. Looks like he can hack it a little bit. Southern League, not so much. So we'll just see if he can break out of this, and hopefully he can continue developing. And I mean, the game thinks he's highly touted, as they've rated him like that. If we take a look at Dylan Head, he is the 57th prospect in baseball, currently in rookie ball at 20 years old. I don't think I do have him locked. Okay. So we should probably be taking him out of rookie ball, because he is tearing up that league. In the Florida State League, he is way too good for there. In the Midwest League, he's very good. And in the Southern League, I mean, he can even hack it in the Southern League right now. So I think we should be going to Pensacola, maybe. We'll put him there, see how he does. Put him in Double-A. And then we've already talked about Starlin Caba, 20 years old, currently in Triple-A. He's got 4 games under his belt there with a 97 WRC plus. He's getting on base. Let's hopefully continue playing well. And, once we get a little bit of a more sample size of Triple-A, we'll decide if we want to call him up to the big leagues. And then, unfortunately, on the pitching side of things, we only have 1 player on this list now, and that's Thomas White, the 30th best pitcher. Still has 1 to 2 weeks left on his sore shoulder injury. Unfortunately, Robbie Snelling is no longer a top prospect. He's down to a 45 potential, and he's pitching poorly in AAA. Things just not going well for him. He's got the 45 movement with the 45 home runs allowed and the 45 BABIP. It's just not what you want. Alrighty, folks, it is July 11th, and you know what that means. It is time for the first-year player draft here in 2026. But before we do that, we are going to be taking a look at how our Miami Marlins have been doing here this season. And newsflash, it's quite damn well. We take a look at the standings here, expanded standings. We have the second best run differential in the NL East, and we are currently sitting pretty in second place in the division on a W7, 8-2 in our last 10. Things are going swimmingly here in Miami. 49-39 is our record. The Braves are right behind us at 48 wins. The Philadelphia Phillies have 44 wins. They're a bit behind, now dropping to 8 games back, but, Mets, Marlins, Braves, Phillies, all still very much in the mix here in the NL East. And if we go ahead and take a look at our team stats page here, you'll see on our month-by-month thing, we got off to that very hot start in April. I think we were 10-2 to start the season. 17-8 overall in April. May, we were 500, 14-14, just kind of treading water. Then had a bad month of June. We still didn't have Kyle Tucker back, I don't believe. We were just kind of struggling. A lot of the bats really started cooling off. But now back in June, we're starting to heat up once again. And the Marlins, they're getting cooking. You can see here when it comes to the team batting stats, we have the best batting average in the National League at 261 right now. We have a top 5 slugging and OPS rather. We have 6th in OBP, 5th in OPS, 6th in WAR, 4th in WOBA. We're not scoring a lot of runs though, despite all this production happening. And then we're also not stealing as much as we have been in last season. So I don't know what's going on there. We're not really running the bases as well as we did, but we're getting a ton of hits. We are first in hits, first in average, first in least amount of strikeouts. We make a ton of contact, get on base a lot. But for whatever reason, we're only 8th in home runs. I mean, not for whatever reason. We don't really have elite pop on the team, but we're only 8th in home runs. We're still 14th in base on balls. So we're getting on base a decent amount, but we're not walking a ton, which is weird. And then we're not scoring runs. Even at 7th in extra base hits is like meh, not great. But you would like the offense to be a bit better than it is, especially when you're first in average, first in hits, and first in least amount of strikeouts. But putting the ball in play, good things will happen eventually for us. And then the pitching has really been where things have turned around for us this season. Just a massive, massive upgrade. We were, 14th in like all of these. We were dead last in like maybe all of them except for like 2 of them where we were like second to last. And now the second best ERA overall, the second best starters ERA, the 6th best bullpen ERA, second least amount of runs allowed, second in WAR, first in hits allowed, opponents average and BABIP, 4th in home runs allowed, 7th in walks. We are walking a decent amount of players, but that just kind of double-edged sword of having a good staff, I feel like, in modern day baseball. Second in the most amount of strikeouts, 1st in defensive efficiency, and 5th in zone rating. So I mean, just a total turnaround from last year where we were dreadful defensively, all-time bad pitching, and now this year that's our butter. That's where our bread is buttered. We are out there doing the damn thing, chucking the pill, playing some solid defense, and then an offense making a ton of contact and having enough scoring come from that. Is it going to be a World Series contender type offense? Probably not, but it's good enough when you've got a pitching staff that's this good. Would we like to improve some of the pop? Absolutely, but it is what we have right now. It is what it is. So we'll just have to keep chugging along here, but we will obviously be looking to make some possible changes at the trade deadline, which we will get into next episode. But for now, let's actually take a look at our good pitching staff. And the other thing I should mention is that our injuries have been like very good this season. Kyle Tucker missed like those few weeks. He's back now. We had Teodo, who got hurt in spring training. Yuri Perez is unfortunately out right now with shoulder tendonitis, but really those are the only injuries we've had to the big league club. So if you take a look at the pitching staff here, and we sort by innings pitched, we've got Michael King, who leads the team with 105 innings. He's got a 2 WAR, 121 ERA plus, 85 FIP minus. He's got a 3.4 ERA, a 3.4 FIP, 28% strikeout rate, 8% walk rate, a 1 home runs per 9. He's doing damn well. We signed him to be a damn good starter. He's being a damn good starter. Sean Manaea's also chucking the pill quite well. 104 innings pitched in 18 starts with a 1.7 WAR, 126 ERA plus, a 94 FIP minus, 3.2 ERA, 3.8 FIP, 16 K minus walk. Decent little player for us, the veteran starter. Ryan Weathers has also been pretty solid. The FIP, not so much, but the ERA has been very good, a 3.2 ERA. The FIP, not totally out of control, but definitely below league average. Worse than league average, I should say, because it gets confusing with these minus stats, where if I say below, it's kind of like, you think I mean like it's below the number 100, but it's not. It's worse than league average, but just barely. He's also giving up 1.2 home runs per 9, which we'd like to see improve, but it's not anything too crazy. Braxton Garrett coming off his Tommy John was what he had last year. Yes, coming off Tommy John surgery. He did not pitch at all for us last season. Or no, he did. No, he didn't. We was 2025 last year. What am I saying? So he did not pitch at all for us last season. And this year he's been solid. Almost a 2 WAR if you round up. 1.13 ERA plus, 82 FIP minus. He's better than league average in everything, folks. What more can you ask for? Striking at 25% of batters. We love to see it. He's no longer the flamethrower he used to be early in his career, but soft-tossing lefty is getting it done for us in the rotation. And then Max Meyer's actually been kind of getting screwed by the ERA here a bit. 89 ERA plus. This was in the 3s for a bit, but he's been cold here lately. If I take a look at his pitching splits, April was not great for him. He shoved in May, got really unlucky in June, and now here in July in 2 starts, it has not been going well. 49 ERA plus, the 132 FIP minus. He has an 8 ERA, giving up way too many home runs. His K minus walk has dropped. So hopefully that's just a 2-start thing and it doesn't last like the rest of the season. And then behind him, we have Christian Scott in the bullpen, who has been like okay, nothing too crazy. He's been serviceable, probably not good enough to be like a stopper, but we do want to get him a good amount of innings. So for now, we're going to keep him in that role. And then a lot of our relievers have been really solid. Like Cody Funderburk has come up, 36 innings. He's been really good. Peguero's been serviceable. Nothing really special. Walking a lot of guys, striking at a decent amount, giving up too many home runs. But overall, nothing too bad. Nardi has been really good. 29 innings pitched for him, 267 ERA plus with a 57 FIP minus. That's a 1.5 ERA and a 2.35 FIP. Very good stuff, striking at 27% of batters, walking less than 10%, which is always good for a guy who has 45 control. I thought it was 40. And then the other thing from him is that he has a 2 goose eggs, 0.0 home run per 9, because Andrew Nardi has not given up a home run yet this season, folks, even though he's an extreme fly ball pitcher with 45 home runs allowed. And then you can see here, Manuel Rodriguez continues to be good for us. A very, very good 1.71 ERA, but then a 4.44 FIP, or a 4.46 FIP rather, which is a little bit worse than league average, but nothing too bad. A lot of like mid-20s, low 20s K percentage and like 9 walk rates from our bullpen guys. Alexis Diaz has been our worst bullpen member. It just has not been good. He was the closer to start the year. We dropped him into it to avoid high leverage role. I forget what month we did that. It was probably like either after May or like mid-June where we did that. And like you can see here, even in July, he's gotten like 1 appearance and he's been awful, even in low leverage. So probably not going to be picking up the second-year option on Alexis Diaz's deal here. And then we've got Brian Hudson, who has missed a little bit of time with an injury. That is another injury we had. He had the shoulder tendonitis to start the season, but it was only a couple weeks, and he's gotten 22 innings with us, and he's been serviceable. He's not striking out a ton of guys, or he's striking out a decent amount of guys, but he's walking way too many people for a guy who has 45 control. So that definitely needs to come down. And then Anthony Bender was just recently called back up to the big leagues here. He's gotten 6 innings, and he has been lights out 1.50 ERA, 25% K minus walk, 29 strikeout rate, 4% walk rate, giving up too many home runs, but it's only 6 innings, so it's not a big sample size. Remember, we sent him down once we claimed Peguero and Hudson, but then once Yuri Perez got hurt, we called Bender back up. And then I should also show that Yuri Perez was pitching well for us. Him and Scott were in the stopper role together, and he was doing pretty solid. So, you know, it's good to see that he is a good reliever for us. His stamina is actually back up to 35, so he could actually be a starter when he comes back, which we might do. We'll probably rehab him as a starter. But then again, we also don't have a spot open in the rotation for him. So, but it is good to know that we could start him, and his stamina has gone back up to 35, which is serviceable in the rotation for me. That is the bare minimum that I want of a starter. By no means would I have his strategy to be like a slower hook so he pitches more innings, but I would have his hook to be like around where like Max Meyer's hook is, which is the default I have for the hook as starter, which is -3 on that? Yeah, -3 on that, and then -2 on the relievers is the default for everybody. And then based on how I trust the guy or not, I adjust those. So now taking a look at the offense here in Miami. So we will sort by just sort by WAR. Why not? We've already got 2 players who, if you round up, are in the 3 WAR. Agustin Ramirez has a 133 WRC plus and a 2.9 WAR, 10 doubles, 13 home runs. He has been fantastic. He's also got 15 swipe bags. He's walking 11% of the time. He's striking at less than 20. He's at 17 for the strikeout rate, slashing 291, 368, 475. He has been great. And I think his framing is actually positive, folks. So we're actually getting some value from Agustin Ramirez as a very, very good catcher for us. So love to see that. Derek Hill has also continued his just like insane, like, I don't even know what to call it, because he's never been this guy in real life. And all of a sudden now in 2025 and 2026, he's just this crazy good player where he's just getting this crazy like 360 consistently BABIP. And his OPS is actually up. His slugging is up. His OBP is up. His average is up. His strikeout rate's dropped. His walk rate's the same. He's got 12 home runs. He's 3 away from last year's total. He's got 12 doubles. Derek Hill, folks, he's got 12 swipe bags. I mean, what can you say about him? He's been fantastic, and we're paying this guy $3.7 million, and we've already got him locked in for next year at $5.7. And then Kyle Tucker. Unfortunately, he did miss a bit of time, but he's been solid. 1.6 WAR, 134 WRC plus, 13 doubles, 7 home runs. He's walking and striking at basically the same rate, 12% walk rate, 13% strikeout rate. He's Kyle Tucker. He's damn good. He's playing a solid corner outfield for us. We'll take it. So Kyle Tucker doing the damn thing. Graham Pauley also playing very well. He's actually our leadoff guy against right-handed pitching because he's getting on base so much, and he has one of the highest walk rates on the team. So 15 doubles, 8 home runs for him, 125 WRC plus. We'd love to see it. Also playing a very good first base with a 3 ZR. Ronnie Mauricio, unfortunately, not playing good defensively at third base, but the bat is carrying him. A 119 WRC plus with 17 doubles and a team-leading 16 home runs, 46 ribbies as well, 42 runs. He does not walk whatsoever, but he does not strike out a ton, and he hits for power and he hits for doubles. So Ronnie Mauricio adding some pop and some extra base hits to our lineup, but we would like to see the defense be a bit better than this. And then Max Acosta, not a total 0 for us. He's actually playing quite well defensively with a 3 ZR. Nothing crazy, but good enough, serviceable. 18 doubles, sub 100 WRC plus. He's been whatever. His job is on the line if Starlin Caba does come up at some point. Drew Gilbert got some time in right field while Kyle Tucker was hurt. He's been a 1 WAR player, 89 WRC plus, whatever, decent fourth outfielder. Joe Mack getting some time at catcher, possibly some first base as well. No, it's been catcher and like a little bit of DH, I think. And yeah, Joe Mack, decent player for us, hitting decently well, 122 WRC plus, 6 doubles and 7 home runs as a bench player, even with a 232 BABIP. So we'll take that coming off his Arizona Fall League MVP season or fall campaign. Griffin Conine, unfortunately, has struggled a bit for us. He's actually striking out more than 30% of the time. He does have 14 doubles and 12 home runs, but overall has not been great. He has been a plus defensive player in left field with a 1.7 ZR, not a negative ZR, but the bat has actually taken a step back a bit this season. Hopefully it can get better as the season goes on because we rely on him to be a decent bat for us. It's not too bad from where it was last year, but the walk rate is definitely down. The strikeout rate is definitely up. So hopefully he can get things going as the rest of the season goes on. And then Davison De Los Santos started as the first baseman against left-handed pitching, and we've actually started DHing him against right-handed pitching because Connor Norby has been so bad for us that we actually sent him down. He's in AAA. Or no, never mind. He's on the bench. And I forget who we sent down. We sent somebody down at some point. But then Brooks, so Davison De Los Santos, 116 WRC plus, 7 doubles, 7 home runs. He's doing well. He's in a limited role, short side platoon, DHing now against right-handed pitching. But then also Ramirez does play every 4th day at DH. So De Los Santos, he's doing well. He's going to get some more ABs as the season goes on, now that he's the DH and the first baseman playing both sides, and hopefully he can add some more pop to our lineup as the season progresses. Brooks Lee, unfortunately, has just not been it. Really good defender at second base with a 6 ZR for us. That might even be higher. It's a 6.2 because he has a -2, minus -0.2 at the 9 games of shortstop that he's played. But really good defender for us, and just the bat, for whatever reason, is not coming around. Like, you look at these ratings and you're like, this guy should be a damn good player, but for whatever reason, he just has not hit for us. Fortunately, we've had a lot of other players who are hitting for us, but he's just not making solid contact, it seems. His walk rate's nothing special, but he's making a ton of contact. He's not striking at like a very, very good rate, but he's just not getting on base. He's not hitting for anything in the gaps. He's not hitting for power. The slugging is just not there at all. The BABIP isn't anything too bad or too good either. It's not like it's fluctuated too much in one way or the other. He's just not making a lot of good contact. If there was some sort of baseball savant in this game where you could see a guy's barrel rate and his like chase rate and stuff like that, his barrel rate would probably be pretty low. His bat speed, maybe not his bats, I don't know. But his barrel rate would probably be pretty low. Oh, it was Xavier Edwards that we sent down because he was so poor for us as a backup utility guy. I'll just show you real quick. He's in AAA. He is doing better in AAA, but you can see here he was just dreadful for us in the big leagues when it came to the bat. The gap power is just so poor now that he's just totally a slap hitter who gets on. You're just praying that he walks or gets a single, essentially. That's what his offense is. So he's down in AAA right now. And then we called up Wilfredo Lara, as you can see. And he's gotten some decent ABs, 41 plate appearances, 97 WRC plus, 3 doubles, 2 home runs for him. Nothing too crazy, but he's a decent bat to have coming off the bench. We like him as a player. Do I ever think he's going to be a starter for us? Probably not. But as of right now, he's doing the damn thing. He's on the team. He's up in the big leagues after his MVP season in AA. Was really good in AAA, so we rewarded him with a call-up. And we'll see if he can continue to develop, because you can see here his walk and strikeout rate in AA and AAA were very, very good. And right now they're out of whack in the major leagues. So we'll see if he can get it back down to this sort of area. And then, like I said, Connor Norby has been poor for us as well. He is currently, I think he only plays against lefties. Yeah, he's the DH against lefties because his bat is much better against lefties than it is righties. But overall, just in general, has not been a good player for us with a 73 WRC plus. Really disappointing from him. He started the year as our full-time DH and just has not lived up to that. Last year, he was good for us for a while and then kind of fell off towards the end of the season. And right now, it's just not going well for him. So Connor Norby, we might send him down at some point if we have somebody to call up. If we make a big trade for a bat or something at the trade deadline, he's probably the first guy where you're like, hey, you're going down to AAA to make room for this other guy. But we do like Norby. I like his ratings. I think that he could be a good player, but also he's kind of playing his way out of being a regular player for us. I should also mention that we have Gabriel Gonzalez in AAA at the moment. He's been playing decently well. He was in AA to start the year, got 100 ABs, was doing really well, so we called him up, and he's been a serviceable DH. He's not really playing the outfield too much. I guess he's playing a decent amount, but he's not playing it very well, which is not really a good sign for a guy we want when you're a corner outfielder in our system, because we have a huge outfield and we need guys who can play a very good corner outfield. But we do like his bat. Hopefully that can keep developing. We need this BABIP and the power and the eye to get really tapped into here, because if this all just stays 40, he's obviously not a good player. I should also mention that CJ Alexander has been tearing the cover off the ball down in AAA this season. He has a 1.8 WAR with a 132 WRC plus, 18 doubles, 18 home runs, and he's playing well. So if we need to call up somebody for a bat at some point, CJ Alexander is definitely an option. And now it is time to dive into the 2026 first-year player draft. As you can see, we have the number 7 overall pick because we got shafted in the lottery. The Blue Jays, huge winners, jump from the 10th spot, the worst odds. They go all the way to the number 1 overall pick. The White Sox have the number 1 odds. They are the 4th pick. We have the 3rd odds. We are the 7th pick. So we got screwed, but we're still top 10, obviously. Hopefully we can get a guy at 7 that's good. And didn't I make a joke? Didn't I not make a joke about how the Astros were going to pick like a spot in front of us because of the lottery? I kind of have a memory of me making a joke like that. I think I said that, and what do you know? They're one pick in front of us. So here we are in the draft. We will go, just take the Blue Jays. Blue Jays first overall, taking Josh Glennon from Tiffin University, a catcher. Oh, this is a guy I was definitely looking at because I high power, high eye, really good personality class. This guy's crazy. I would be all over this guy if I had the first overall pick. I also don't think he's real. Is he? Yeah, this guy's just not real. So we're in year 2 of the first-year player draft. We're in year 2 of this, and we've already got fake players that are being generated as like the number 1 overall pick. I was going to say it's crazy that a guy from Tiffin University is going to go first overall, but I just assumed that he was real. He's not. What the fuck? Why? What is this game this year, man? You've got the issues with how slow this game runs at times. You've got some of like the UI bullshit where it's like some of this like shit that's like gaslighting you into thinking that like stuff is going wrong, where you've got like the draft league and or not the draft league, but the Arizona Fall League, where you'll just have guys disappear from your roster and then you're just supposed to know that there's a drop-down menu. Like, how was I supposed to know that was there? There's nothing that explains that it's there. You've got the random guys being waived in DFA that makes you think that you're just going to lose random players from your organization. And now we're in year 2, and you've got fake players going number 1 overall. I mean, this game used to have like the first 3-4 years was real players. And it's definitely not all fake players because there are real players. Grady Emerson's real. I know that for a fact. Tyler Spangler's real. Brady Harris is real, I believe. Luke Pettit is real. But now I'm just looking at these guys Gavin Grahovac is real, I know that. But I'm just looking at so many of these guys being like, are these guys fake? Like, is this Eric Boulware guy fake? It makes me think that he's fake because his name's Eric Boulware and he has the nickname Scott. That seems like an OOTP fake thing to do. He is absolutely fake. I mean, what the fuck? What is this game now? I guess we move on. So the Los Angeles Angels, 2nd overall, they take Ross Reed from Southeastern Louisiana University. I'm just going to assume that he's fake. He's definitely fake. There's no chance a guy from that university is going. So we're 1-2, both fake guys. Then it's the Royals on the clock. They're taking Grady Emerson, who I know is real. This guy is actually real. Grady Emerson goes 3rd overall. Then we move things on to the 4th pick with the Chicago White Sox. They take Edwin Morales, who I don't know if he's fake, to be honest with you. The fact that his nickname is T-Wade makes me think he's fake. We're just going to assume that he's fake. Then we go to the 5th pick, the San Francisco Giants. They take David Begley from Ball State University. Willie the Nuck. He's fake, folks. So what are we at? That is 4 out of the first 5 picks in the second year's draft. The second year of an OOTP sim. And 4 of the first 5 picks are fake players. Do these devs have an explanation for this shit? Is it just as simple as that they only care about perfect team now? Is that really what we're in now? You had OOTP. That was the one game where the main thing, the whole goddamn thing, was just the base game where you get to live out this whole thing as playing as a GM and building a team and simming all these years into the future. And like, sure, you can still do that, but how many things need to go downhill and be broken before people start going, hey man, I'm seeing some patterns here that I've seen before. So now we're on to the 6th overall pick for the Houston Astros, and they take Eric Boulware. So now we're at 5 out of the 6 players that have been taken in the draft are all fake. And we have the 7th overall pick, Jacob Lombard. Honestly, he's probably just the guy. Tyler Spangler is a first baseman. I guess he could play third base. Third baseman, first baseman from De La Salle. I know he's real. He was in our sim last year. He was like a big power hitter with the Yankees. Jacob Lombard, though, I don't know if he's real. He's from Miami, though. No idea what this guy is committed to the University of Portland, but apparently this is George Lombard's brother. So Jacob Lombard, he might be our pick here. Our scouting director thinks that we should take Tyler Spangler. I mean, they both look like good players, but I think I'm kind of leaning Lombard. I mean, he's definitely more of a second baseman than he is a shortstop. He could probably play you third too. I mean, I guess he could play you like a corner outfield if you wanted him there, but is his bat going to be good enough to play corner outfield? I mean, Spangler's bat is very intriguing. We don't love this personality, though. High loyalty, but then he has high greed, low leader, low work ethic, low baseball IQ. That's just not good whatsoever. Lombard, we don't even know what his personality is. He's a medium development risk. Spangler is also medium. There is Brady Harris, who's got better personality. He's got the adaptability, the work ethic, the baseball IQ. The avoid K is kind of not great, but he looks like he could be able to even play you like a decent center field. Keon Johnson is another player who has like a bunch of good personality traits. He's also just probably a third baseman, second baseman sort of guy, but his bat does look good, but I still would probably prefer Spangler because his bat looks better. So if we compare Spangler and Keon Johnson, Spangler is definitely the better bat. That is for sure. And if we compare Spangler and Jacob Lombard, it's really just, do you want a guy who's going to have you a really good BABIP, or do you want a guy who is going to give you potentially like elite power? And there is also the thing, even though he's fake, or he's not fake, there is also the thing that this guy is from Miami. I think we just kind of have to go Lombard here because he's got a really good bat and he's going to be a better defender than Spangler is. Whereas Spangler, like, you know, at some point he's going to just kind of turn into like a first baseman when he ages. And we also, the personality is pushing me off of him, where Lombard has the better defense. He's got a speed profile. He's got a good enough bat. I mean, it looks like the gap, the power, and the eye can all look up to 55 with the 70 BABIP. We're going to go the Miami kid. Jacob Lombard from Gulliver Prep in Miami, Florida is going to be our player here, 7th overall. We're just going to go ahead and meet his demand. Boom. Also, just now realizing I never even looked at the pitchers, and there were not any better pitchers here available. So yeah, I still feel good about the Lombard pick. This guy does have a pretty crazy high contact gap power sort of thing, but he's also not as good defensively. This guy probably also is fake if I had to imagine. Maybe not though. But anyways, we will now just auto draft to our next selection in round 2. And then also good to remember that where am I going? Draft home here. Apparently we were actually mocked to take Lombard. So we took the guy we were mocked to take, and now here in round 2, we were mocked to take Brent Renfroe, who is available. And then just as a reminder, we do not have a 3rd round pick. We lost that for compensation from signing Kyle Tucker. So we are here in round 2. We were mocked to take Brent Renfroe, who is a right-handed pitcher from Virginia Tech. Seems pretty good. I'm not opposed to taking him. There's also Dion Cole here, who looks like he's also an impossible signee. So yeah, we're not getting him. Renfroe just might be the move here, honestly. Jose Smith is a reliever. This guy also looks fake, if I'm to be completely honest with you. Gavin Gerhovac is here as well from Texas A&M. He's really all BABIP, all power. Weird bat, no gap power. He's going to strike out a ton. So I think the move here would be... This guy's a two-way. Okay. Now, I've talked about how the two-way guys never pan out for me, but I mean, this guy looks crazy. He looks like he could have a really good pitcher and have a good bat. And then if, like, you know, one or the other doesn't develop, like, you know, the pitching doesn't work out, this guy could play you like a good center field. Or probably more so like an elite corner. And we don't have a 3rd round pick, so if we take Renfroe now, then Kyle Johnson's not going to be here in our next pick in the 4th round. But Renfroe's got some good personality. He's got high leader, high work ethic, low financial ambition. Or there's Kyle Johnson. Now, like, on the surface, Brent Renfroe is the better pitcher. Johnson has 5 better stuff potential, but then it's 5 plus for movement and then 10 plus for home run rate for Renfroe. And he's got way more stamina. He's got 3 70-grade pitches, whereas Johnson's got 2, like an 80-grade fastball, 75-grade curveball with a 55-grade potential. So like they're pretty close. He's even already got a 50-grade fastball. They're pretty close when it comes to pitching. Like Renfroe's better, I would say, but they're not like totally out of the realm of possibility of being like similar pitchers. Whereas Kyle Johnson offensively obviously looks like he could be like an actual player. I mean, I think we just have to go with the fact that this guy could be a good player both sides of the ball. So yeah, I'm just taking a leap here. We're going with our gut, and we're taking Duke University's Kyle Johnson, the right-handed bat, left-handed thrower. Boom. He's our guy here, round 2. We're taking him. And now we are moving on to our 4th round pick, as we do not have a 3rd round pick. And then Deion Cole is still here. I think that just might be... never mind, he's a possible signee. What am I talking about? Wyatt Halverson, is that Seth's brother? It's gotta be. Okay. He's a second baseman. He's not a shortstop. He only has 50 range. Roussel Shepard. Honestly, I think this might be the pick. Although he has no gap power. It's just a slap hitter. Man, slap hitter with no gap power. Really good speed profile. Really good defender. He has a lack of arm, though, which might hold him back. He's got a couple flaws. Our scout thinks we should take Ethan Norby. He thinks we should take Connor Norby's brother. Okay. I disagree. I think there's better player. I mean, maybe there's not. Maybe there's not. Ethan Wheeler is a high school pitcher. I mean, there are some 55 pitchers here, and then Norby's the college guy, but then Halverson's a college guy. I think Halverson's probably better than Norby is. Yeah. I would probably prefer Halverson because I like the movement. I like the control. I'm not a huge fan of the guys with like the stuff, but they can't really do much else. I think I look at those sort of profiles and I go, that's a reliever. 80-grade changeup potential. They both have 45 stamina. Or then you've got Matthew Gallant here from Charleston Southern. I can only assume that he's fake. I mean, maybe he's not, but I'm just going to assume he is. And I don't think he really compares to either of these guys. Yeah, I'd probably rather have Norby. I mean, he's also a 2-pitch guy. So yeah, I'd rather have Norby over him. So I think we're going to go pitcher here because Comeu, I mean, he could be interesting. He can also pitch a little bit, but not really enough. Like, he can, kind of. He's that level of pitcher where he's, like, good enough to where he's probably going to pitch in the minor leagues, which always, in my mind, like, ruins a guy's development. So it forces me to go in and lock him and make sure he's only playing the way I want him to play, and then I have to, like, micromanage every little thing about him, and it just adds a bunch of annoyances to the game. But I think we are going to go pitcher here. And Norby's never going to be like a flamethrower either. He's going to have really good stuff with a potential 80-grade changeup. Like, you really need this slider to develop. And it's really, he's just going to have like an elite changeup, and that's going to make it to where is why he has such good stuff. Elite changeup with a good enough curveball. He's a junk baller, lefty. Is he going to be able to start with 40 control? I mean, I didn't really look at that, to be honest. 40 control is not a starter. He's going to be a reliever. So I think we're going to go with Wyatt Halverson here from Arizona State. He's going to be our pick. Boom. That's our 4th round pick. We move things on to round 5. Our scout believes that we should take Chris Robb, and he is a guy who stands out to me here. The Roussel Shepard still stands out because of the defense and the speed profile. It's just the gap power really does not entice me at all. turns me off of him. I mean, Chris Robb is very intriguing. He looks like he could be like a crazy, weird third baseman where he doesn't commit errors and he has a rocket arm, but he doesn't have a great range. And then he looks like he could be a good outfielder, too. I don't know how he has a 75 infield arm, but then a 45 outfield arm. But that is the circumstance for him. And I think that he's just obviously the best player here. Keaton Neal is like a high school pitcher I don't really love. This guy is interesting, but he's really only going to be a 2-pitch guy. He's also an impossible signee. So yeah, Chris Robb is our guy. We're going with him. Round 5. Move things on to round 6. And that well-rounded Canadian outfielder is still here, but he's never going to be able to play outfield for us. He's just a first baseman or a DH for us. And now we're already down into the 45s here. Will Gasparino and his 70 pop. That could be interesting. And then if we sort by outfield range, we've got a couple 70 guys that I'm not going to take at this point in the draft. But there is Jake Brown here, who has 65 outfield range, probably more so like an elite corner than he is anything else. He could have some really good eye with like average contact and gap power if this all develops. So Jake Brown is probably one of the guys I prefer here, or we could also go with the high school pitcher who has a 55 potential. Or no, this guy's a college pitcher. Okay. Gallant's college. Sharman's the high school guy, but he also is an impossible signee. And then there's Ryan Shelby, who is from the Miami area, but this guy screams reliever. 40 control. He does look like he could be a decent reliever. 2008, man. Jesus Christ. He looks like he could have some great pitches, but 40 control is not Mr. Reliable. This guy's fake. He's 100% fake. They don't give the real guys nicknames. And then also Jake Brown's a ground ball hitter. Don't love that. Or we could go with Deion Cole here and just kind of give him like a Hail Mary offer and see if he accepts here in the 6th round. You know, I think we're going to go Gallant, and then if Cole is still there, then we're going to take him and give him a Hail Mary offer. So Gallant, we're going to go him. Then we move things on. Cole gets taken, of course. But Jake Brown is here. That makes it easy for us. We take Jake Brown here in round 7. Move things on to round 8. And I think at this point, we're just going to check back in at the end of the draft. So we are here at the end of the draft. We left off, I believe, after the 7th round pick earlier. So we did 1 through 7. And then we left off at 8. We took Peyton Bonds. In real life, he's on Rutgers. This is just another oversight by the OOTP team here. He transferred to Rutgers like, I don't even know. It was like well before this. I mean, it was like the very end of last season. So like this, it has been months and months and months where you could have gone in here and changed that he's at Rutgers. He is not at Campbell anymore. But we get Peyton Bonds, 40 potential. Is he gonna be any good? Probably not. But this is Barry Bonds' nephew. For those of you who do not know. Then in round 9, we took an interesting starting a relief prospect. He has an 85 potential fastball with an 80 potential stuff. He has horrible control, but he has a crazy, crazy reliever outlook if he could get any sort of TCR luck on the control. The draft was not really that great this year, so at this point in the draft, we were just kind of taking swings on guys that just had like one trait like he has with the stuff and the fastball. So interesting lefty guy out of the University of Washington. Then in round 10, we took another college pitcher in LJ Mercurius from UNLV. Well-rounded, a little bit below league average stuff, but then 50 movement, 55 control with 350 pitches with a 55 changeup and then 50 stamina. Who knows if he works out, but we took him round 10. Round 11, we took a college outfielder from Arizona State in Bennett Fryman. He is a really good corner outfielder. Who knows if he develops. Then in round 12, we took another college player in Francesco Capocci from University of North Carolina. He has 30 stamina, so he's a reliever outlook, but he does have some decent ratings. So Hopefully he can develop. Round 13, we took Frank Vicente, who I'm pretty sure is fake because I've never actually heard of this guy. If he's real, my apologies, but I've never actually heard of this guy, and he's going to Rutgers. So, horrible personality, but he has some pop and an eye. Who knows? Like I said, it was a really bad draft class at this point, so we get down to round 14. We take Colt Niehoff from Oklahoma State University. Big control, high leader, baseball IQ. Another college guy. No, this is the high school guy with 75 home runs allowed, 60 movement. I mean, just very clearly the best stat there available at that point, so we took this guy. Then in round 16, we took Elgin Bennett from K-State. Really good outfield range, really good speed, play some defense in the minor leagues. That's what we were doing at this point in the draft. Round 17, we took Dylan Schlegel for the same reason. Really good personality, play some defense in the minor leagues for us at a Dallas Baptist. Then we took round 18, Aiden Camberg, college catcher at a UC Santa Barbara. Catch our minor league prospects. That's your job in the organization. Round 19, Braxton Stewart. Really good personality. Maybe we get a TCR bump. At this point, we just took two guys who had high leader and the holy trifecta in Braxton Stewart at a Louisville. And then in round 20, we took, or that's what we did back-to-back here. I think Camberg and then Stewart. And then 20, we took a guy who can play infield defense for us in the minor leagues in Alex Galan Camejo from Louisville. Who knows if any of these guys are real, or I know that some of them are real. I know that Halverson's real, or as I think. I know that Lombard's real. I would think that Kyle Johnson is real. Chris Robb, maybe. Gallant, maybe. Jake Brown, I'm going to assume is real. And then Peyton Bonds, I know is real. It could be anything for the rest of these guys, but that is our 2026 draft class.